we're going to quest the John. We got the value out of him. We need to close out the game now.
NANI?
This is Syeds' list that he got top 3 in the North American Disney Lorcana Championships. I like it, and this is kind of the new spicy card that was added into the deck from Azurite Sea. This is set 6 card here, and it's the I Am Still Here. This is from Treasure Planet, the movie. That's John Silver and Jimbo, and they're just having a great time talking about their feelings or whatever they do in the longboat. Chosen character gains resist +2 until the start of your next turn. Draw a card. So I like using that specifically to give my Diablo resist 2. So if they're using a card like Elsa, the 5th spirit, they're not going to be able to take out Diablo in one shot because we'll have the 2 resist for it. But if they do combo the crab with Elsa, that's the exact amount to overpower the Diablo's resist and willpower. 4 would be the number. 5 is too much. If you know what I'm saying, the crab gives you +3 strength. That's what we were talking about. It's got 3 Calhoun. We like this. So we got the 3 Chris Merfolks, and you need to play these against the red blues as soon as possible to get more lore as soon as possible. And then your number 1 goal is to get your birds out on the board. If you can shift your bird on turn 2, that's a good deal. You'll want to be able to play your bird. Playing birds wins the game. He went down to 3 copies of Ursula. We like that because sometimes she's kind of a dead card, but she's super good when you have a bunch of Prince Johns on board. If you got 3 Prince Johns on board and then you rip a song late game, if you rip a Be Prepared or something, it's a good time. You're going to like it. 3 copies of Muses, 4 copies of the Ursulas to hopefully land one of these songs to be able to sing twice with the Ursula. It's a good deal when it happens. And then we got the Hidden Cove, but because the Hidden Cove will also let you survive with your sweet birds if you move your birds to the coves. Up to 2 copies of Doc, which I think is the right amount of copies of Doc. The 1, definitely too little amount of copies. Only 1 copy of the Go-Go Tamago. I think this should probably be more because this is such like a win condition. Like, oh, it's late game. I'm going to play my Go-Go and I'm going to win the game. I like it a lot. We're going to play this list together real quick on Inktable. We can go to the description of this video, and then you can go to this webpage. You can go to menu, export, Inktable, and play on Inktable. Things that we learned in this video: birds on board equal win. Number 2, Calhoun is like a better Smee. And number 3, I should have played Ursula Deceiver of All instead of Prince John. I did a bad move. Prince John can work anytime. I can have him on board and then his ability works like as soon as he's played. But the Ursula Deceiver of All needs to be out for a turn and dried. So I definitely should have put out the Ursula Deceiver of All, and then she could have been ready to sing a song. I didn't see that foresight later, but I see it now. I think I learned something this video. We're playing against a purple steel deck. We got some good stuff, but we mainly want to play with our bird. I think we're going to keep this for our 2 just in case we don't get a bird. And we are going to keep this action because we know that they're on purple steel. So we're going to keep this because we know that they don't have the Ursula to take it out of our hand. We're going to get rid of the Go-Go because we want that way late in the game. And then we want to keep the Sudden Chill to maybe sing. We'll get rid of this. We just want to like guarantee that we're going to have inkable cards to be able to play our bird and stuff. Maybe we should have done 1 more to try to get the turn 1 bird, but that's okay. We have 2 Sudden Chills, so I think we are going to go ahead and ink our Sudden Chill. And then this is a good turn to just put out our Hidden Cove because we want it out there. It's going to give Calhoun some good abilities. It's going to give our Diablo some good abilities. The Hidden Cove says characters get +1 strength and +1 willpower while here. Our opponent needs to play the Diablo, the one that draws them a card when it is banished. We are going to hopefully banish that with the Calhoun next turn. So we are going to ink the Ursula, probably not the best thing, but we don't have any discard like synergy going on. And then we're going to get to play our Calhoun. Hopefully next turn Calhoun will go into there. We're not going to move because we don't have enough ink to move, and then we pass the turn. So if they quest this, they're punished. They also get to draw when we take it out, but we get 2 lore, which I think is a better deal. The Smee can also take this out. Don't love it. They quest up to 1. The Smee would do 2 damage to us when we move there. That'd be the exact right amount to take us out. We finally get the bird stuff. We can, if we load up the board, is it just whenever it's banished? Yeah. We will challenge our Calhoun into there, into the bird. We take no damage back because it gives us 0. They get to draw a card, but we get to gain 2 lore. Those are good trades. We take those for sure. We have some stuff that we can do. We can ink and play a bird, or we can put down the bird and then we could shift it next turn, and then we could decide everything else that we want to do later. And then if we do that, then we can also move Calhoun to Cove. And then it wouldn't matter, but we could move the bird to Cove this turn. So we are going to ink our Hypnotize because we could sing later. And then we will play our Diablo, Maleficent Spy. We get to look at their hand when we play it. They got lots of stuff to take us out anyway. We're kind of scared of the strength to take out our Diablo. We are, but we are going to get to move our Diablo to the Hidden Cove. That'll be the rest of the ink. And we can move Calhoun to the Cove just for fun, I guess, even though this Mr. Smeet, will it be able to take it out? No, it'll do one less, right? It'll do 3 damage to us, and then we have resist 1. We survive now. Boom, got it. Understood. We're passing the turn, and we're pretty set up at this point in the game. We got 2 great cards at the Hidden Cove. We can shift next turn. We can sing next turn. They are going to quest for 2, and our Calhoun is ready to get another 2 lore just by challenging that card. They play down a Chernobog's Followers, and then we could zap the Chernobog's Followers with our Strength of the Raging Fire, which we might do. It might be the option for us. Let's see what we get. We get a Dockaroo. We are going to play. I think first we just challenge the Calhoun into the Smee. We take 2 damage back, but we have 3 willpower while we're at the Cove, and then we get to gain 2 lore, and now they don't have that huge 3/3 body Smee ready to get more lore. We take them out. So now we want to decide what we want to do. We can shift the bird, or we can just hard play the bird. What we're going to do is we are going to shift the bird. So we're going to play the Diablo onto this Diablo. We are going to discard the Sudden Chill, and then we will get to sing the Strength of the Raging Fire, and we are going to sing it onto the Chernobog's Followers, because this does 0 damage back to us. Yeah, I would let them draw a card, but it does 0 damage. And now we still have 3 ink to play with. We're going to play our Dockaroo. We discard our hand of no cards, and we draw 2 cards. Wonderful deal. We get a Merfolk and an Ursula. We are going to get to play the Merfolk so we can win as fast as possible. We could ink this Ursula and move stuff, but I found a lot of times in this deck, I just stopped at 3 ink and stuff has been fine. So I'm going to pass the turn. We're already at 4 lore. All 4 of those lore came from Calhoun. When they draw a card, we get to draw a card with our bird, our Exerted Diablo Devoted Herald. We get another Ursula, Deceiver of All. They play a crab, which gives this card 3 strength. That's going to be able to take out Calhoun, but it takes out the bird too. But they get to draw a card with the bird. But they drew a card on their turn, so our Diablo procs, we get to draw a card. We get the Dogo Tamago. So if we do like 2 damage, then we can get some more lore that way. We're going to load up our Johns on board because we should be able to get into our discard shenanigans coming up. We are going to play the John. We are going to ink in Ursula. We are going to move one of our characters to the Hidden Cove, looking like it's going to be Doc. Because if we move Doc there and they swing into it, it does 2 damage back to them. That loads them up, getting ready for the Go-Go to do its thing. So we are going to quest our bird. That's going to give us a lore. We get to quest our Dockaroo. That gives us another lore. And we get to quest our Cursed Merfolk for 2 more lore. Already up to 8. Who's aggro now? Purple Steel. We were able to remove them and then keep up our own pace. They drew a card, so we get to draw a card with our Diablo Devoted Herald. Up to 5 ink for them. We do get a really good action card for our Prince John. They drew a card, so we get to draw a card. Thank you, Genie. Let's see what else they got. They got Chernobog. We intend to zap the Chernobog with our Storm, seeing it with Diablo. They drew a card, and we are going to... Oh, they discarded a card because they challenged into our Merfolk with our Crab. And then we get to draw a card with our Prince John. So we get 2 Hypnotizers here, and we get a Smee. That is kind of what we like to see. We do want to do some damage to this Genie, because if this Genie attacks into this, they lose. Maybe we should have put Ursula on board so we could have double hit. I think this turn, we take it slow. We just hold our horses. Even though we know that Elsa could be coming up, I think we're just going to hold our horses. We're going to play our Hypnotize. They're going to discard 1, and we're going to draw 2. They discard 1. We draw 1. We get the Pete, and then we get to draw with our Prince John. We get a Shmee. We can ink a Smee and play a Smee. We like the sound of that. We could also play a Go-Go, but that wouldn't be too helpful right now. Don't want to quest the bird because we're scared of the Genie doing the thing, but we're at Hidden Cove. They would have to take out Hidden Cove, which they could kind of do. Am I scared of it? I think we will keep what we originally wanted to do. We're going to sing to let the Storm Rage on with the Diablo Devoted Herald to get rid. All right, we're seeing Let the Storm Rage on to the Cheer in a Box followers with our Diablo Devoted Herald. And then we are never punished. We get the song that we wanted back. So next turn, hopefully this genie will attack into here, and then we will be able to finish it off with that later. We will be able to quest with our Dockaroo. That's one lore. We can still ink a card and play a Smee, or we can move John to the Hidden Cove. Wouldn't help us out too much at this point. So I think we do want to ink a card and play Smee. So we are going to ink Smee, and then we are going to get to play Shmee. That's what we got going on. We're not questing the John because we want him to still get value. If we decide to go the discard route next turn, they drew a card, so we get to draw a card. The bird is doing so much work. They're going to sing Along Came Zeus with their genie. That's going to do 5 damage to the location. A weird choice, but that's what they got going on. They're going to swing their crab into the location, and that gets rid of the Hidden Cove. They drew another card by playing Rabbit, so we get to draw a card. We have a couple of things that we can do this turn, all of which involve us trying to get rid of Genie. I think the best thing to get rid of Genie is play again the long con of not questing our bird and putting down an Ursula. But at what point do you want to win the game? At what point do you want to play your Ursulas? It's just a thought. We have 6 ink to play with. We can discard their last card, which would be great. So I think that's what we want to do. We're going to play the Hypnotize to have them discard a card. We'll draw a card from Hypnotize, and then we'll also get to draw a card with our Prince John. It's 2 card draws for us. We can ink anything else we want. We can ink. We get to ink Sudden. No. I think we'll ink Ursula, and then we definitely want to get the Ursula out on board now. We are going to quest just the dock, and we will quest just the Smee. I think we want to leave the bird alone. The bird has been so valuable, and then next turn Ursula can double sing and hit this, and then the bird will be safe. We're just keeping our bird safe. We get to take 1 damage because we don't have a captain character on board. That's okay with us because Smee is here to get lore and get lore fast. The rabbit is going to attack into the Smee. They're going to draw a card. They've already drawn 2 cards, 1 for turn and 1 for the rabbit. There's the Calhoun in play and a Mr. Smee, and then we're good for Ursula to do some big business. Their crab is going to take out our dock. It's going to slow down our lore gain, but that's okay with us. The Calhoun is a little bit scary, but mainly this genie, we didn't want to take out our Diablo. So I think the first thing that we want to start off with, hold up. So now we don't really need to play this. We can actually sing this song, which would be better, especially if we put another character on board. Then we would be able to do 4 damage to 2 characters. So we could take out the genie and we could take out Calhoun, and then we would be super stoked about that. It'd be great if we had the muses right now. So we might start with trying to find the muses. So we are going to sing Let the Storm Rage On with our Diablo Devoted Herald. That's going to do 2 damage to a chosen character. We are going to choose to do it to the Merlin Crab. Get rid of his ability off the field. And now we have another Strength of the Raging Fire. We could clear their whole board right now, which is what I kind of want to do. That would keep us safe from everything. So John would actually have to sing the song. And we will go ahead and play a Pete. So they won't be able to play any action cards to regain their momentum. We will play a Diablo Devoted Herald. We're not shifting it. We're just putting it into play. And then we are going to sing the Strength of the Raging Fire with Ursula. That's going to do 4 damage 2 times. It's going to do 4 damage to this genie. And then we're going to be able to do 4 damage to the Calhoun. We get to play it again for free from the discard. Then it goes to the bottom of our deck. And then Prince John is here to sing Strength of the Raging Fire to do 4 damage to the Smee. After that, they're just cooked. There's no way they can come back from this, and I think we might be really close to game on board. Sadly, we are not game on board yet. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lore that we can go. We can go to 18 next turn. We get to draw a card. When they draw a card, they play a crab, and they are cooked. There's nothing that they can do now to get rid of us from being the winner. Could we load up any damage? How can we draw a card? Doesn't look like we can draw any card. We can draw a card with the Hypnotize, because if we play Hypnotize, then we could do hopefully 2 damage to the crab, and then we could play Go-Go and do that. That's what we're doing. That's what's up. So we are going to play, hypnotized. They don't have to discard a card because they have none, but we get to draw a card. Is it a damaging spell? It's not. But if it was Let the Storm Rage On, which we already used a couple of, we used 2 of them, so there's 2 more left in the deck. But if it was that card, then we could have done 2 damage to this. We could have inked one of these cards. We could have played Go-Go, gotten 2 lore, and then we could have quested the rest of the crew to win the game this turn. But that's not what happened. We are going to get to quest our bird. Let's see. And we're going to quest the John. We got the value out of him. We need to close out the game now. We are going to quest the Ursula. She's not singing right now. We're trying to win the game. Questing our Diablo Devoted Herald, the second one. And just for good measure, we're going to put out another Diablo Devoted Herald. That's 3 birds on board. That's the power of the birds. If you get a bird that lets you draw cards, you're going to be good to go. But if you don't put the bird out, there's a high likelihood that you're going to lose the game. And that's half of the battle. Their crab is going to do 3 damage to our Prince John. Good night, sweet prince. That means that we have to quest twice next turn and not just once with Prince John. But we get another Prince John. We're good to go. We can make them discard. We still have so many options this late in the game. Look at all the things that we could do. We could load up the board with more characters. We could discard our hand and draw 2. We could put some damage down and then gain the lore with Go-Go Tamago, which is, I think, how we want to win the game, if you ask me. So maybe we go the long route. Can we do that? No, we can't. We will just quest a bird. That'll put us to 19. And then we are going to go ahead and play the Go-Go Tamago. We are going to use the effect, paying 2 ink extra to gain 1 lore, and that is the game. That's how you win with the green steel. Thank you to Syed for playing in the Nationals and showing us the way green steel should be. What is this? Is this an ad? What Nam?